Definitely. Welcome back, youth and families, to Elements of Scholar Athlete Virtual Conferences. This series brings to you live streams of professional athletes, trainers, and coaches to hear tips, encouragement, and strategy directly from some of the expert in the field. Scholar athletes are well-rounded young people that understand the dedication, the character, and the academic commitment it takes to be successful as both an athlete and an adult. Scholar athletes are not just students who play sports. Hello, everybody. I'm the athletic director here at Boys and Girls Club of Gulf Coast. My name is Shabazz McClellan. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing a very special guest, Mr. Bryant Lavender. Bryant Lavender is from Gulfport, Mississippi, where his mother grew he and his brother's speech at an early age. The drive to inspire people he has always possessed, but the passion stems from the death of his father. What helped Bryant keep his promise is giving his life to Christ at 13, writing in journals and often giving speeches to his teammates. He graduated from Gulfport High School in 2009. He received an athletic scholarship to play at University of South Alabama, where he graduated from in 2013. He entered his name in the draft of 2014, but went undrafted as a free agent. In 2014, Bryant became a published author with his first book, Mind Under Pigskin. He also had his first official speaking engagements the same year at his old middle school, Bellevue Middle. In 2015, Bryant would author another book, Sweet a Song, and get his opportunity to play professional football, Tampa Bay Storm in the AFL and the Central Florida Jaguars in the AIFL. He went to play with the Triangle Torch in Raleigh, North Carolina, while publishing and releasing his third book, Driven Fight for What They Said You Couldn't Have, in 2018. He published his fourth book, Finding My Way Back, in May of 2020. I want to welcome Bryant and thank you for joining us.
Man, I appreciate the opportunity to come on, man.
Man, I appreciate you being with us, man. It's really a joy and a pleasure to have you, man. So let's get off and ask you some quick questions, man. How is everybody? How is your family doing during the times that we having right now, COVID-19? How is everyone doing?
Man, everybody's doing well, man. No problems, man. Everybody's going in and out, and man, it's just it's cool, man. Just abiding by the rules and the statutes that they've given, and everything's sweet though, man. Only thing I've been doing lately has been going to the store for my mama, because she ain't getting out there in the store, so it's funny. But everything else is cool though.
Man, that's good, man. All right. My first question for you, man. Who was your first role model in your childhood? Who was your first role model as a child?
My first role model, to be honest with you, man, there wasn't just one person. I had multiple people that I would take from, like different attributes, kind of like a collage it together. Man, it was, my brother, Marcus, my oldest brother Marcus, in some aspects. It was my mom with some of the stuff that she does, my dad, and then also my coach. Man, it was like a collective of people. It was a lot of people. It wasn't just one person.
So it was a collective of people that helped you, inspired you as a role model. That's good stuff. When did you find interest in sports?
Man, when I found interest in sports, I was always an active kid, and man, I just tried a lot of things. I remember playing t-ball, and I was like, that's too much. No, I don't want to do that. And then I saw my brother Marcus play football first, and then I was like, Mom, I want to do that. And she was like, you gotta wait till next year. You too little. I was like, all right. So the whole time I'm like, man, I can't wait to play football. That was what I did. And I played basketball too. I did basketball just because it was another thing to do. But I really fell in love with football the day I saw my brother play.
Okay, cool, man. Cool. I didn't know you played t-ball.
Yeah.
Did you ran track as well, right?
Yeah, I did. I ran track, man. How I first got introduced to track was when Mr. Larry Davis did the Hershey stuff, and I didn't practice, didn't none of that. They was just like, come run, and I was like, okay. So I ran, and I did the 4x1 and I think the 4x2, and so I was like, okay, let me do this. I figured it could translate to football, so that's why I kept running through high school and ran 2 years in college.
Definitely, definitely. You were athletic enough, man. You know you're athlete. I know you're trying to be humbled on here, but let us know what you did as a child and what you did as an athlete, man. We want to inspire our youth. All right. What was your biggest achievement in sports?
Man, the biggest achievement, uh, the first one was I had a couple, but the first one was when I got my first start as a starter. And I made a big play. My first pass was a 61-yard seam route as in the slot against Northeast Jones. I'll never forget that. And then in college, when I got the scholarship, when they offered me a scholarship as to go to South, and then the next biggest one was when I played my first professional game and I scored a touchdown. Like that was pretty dope.
Now,
Yeah.
what year was that? What team was you? I know you played in the arena.
um. So in 2015, I was with the Tampa Bay Storm, and I was on the practice squad. And so, man, one game I thought I was gonna get to play, and the way they do it in arena is, or the way Tampa did it was everybody votes. All the coaches vote for the players because every week a different players get pulled up or they get released. It's really crazy, but so all the coaches was on board, for me to play, and then it was the director of player personnel said, "No, I need some more experience." So that kind of trumped everybody vote, and so I didn't get to play my first game professionally on the active squad until 2016 when I was with the Central Florida Jaguars. Man, I caught it was a corner laid out for it.
Okay. I know you play professionally, and I want to know, are you still, trying to chasing that dream to play professionally, or are you focusing on being an author now?
No, I'm not. I'm done. Like I'm retired. Like I'm finished with that. Like, it was fun. What I'm focusing on speaking, my being a speaker and an author. I just love it. It's a transferable skill. Getting ready for a game to me is the same way getting ready, like to speak, and then especially like getting my stuff together for another book. To prepare to write a book, man, it goes through its ups and downs just like a season would.
Okay, man, that's cool, man. What are your strengths both as an athlete and a person?
As an athlete, coachable and trustworthy, and that translates to as a person. If you're coachable, then you're able to fix some of the things that's wrong because your coach see things that you're not able to see because you're in it. But if you're not coachable, then you won't be able to fix it. Like you'll have that same telltale or tall tale sign that'll say, "Oh, he about to do an out route," because he always put his arm out when he do an out route. Being coachable will tell you to fix that, and trustworthy mean you're gonna do your job. What you gonna do? What you say you gonna do, Coach? I'm running 10 yards. I'm cutting out, and I'm gonna catch the ball. All right, trustworthy. Can you be able to do what you say you're gonna do? Can I trust you to be in the spot that you need to be?
Man, that's some good, powerful words because believe it or not, sports for me was always it transfers to the professional world. You have to do a job. If you have a job, it's gonna be very glam when you don't do it, and it's gonna be like, well, such and such not doing what he said he was gonna do. I mean, it's the same way with sports. You learn those
Yeah.
values when you play sports, man. That's some good stuff. What character traits do you find are important to have as an athlete?
Character traits. Man, you work hard. You got to work hard. You got to be willing to learn, uh, and you got to be willing to help your teammates. Help your teammates because as a sport, there's not many. Okay, you got track. You got tennis. You got things that are golf that are individual sports. But like when it comes to playing like football, basketball, or anything that involves you with another person, you got to be able to help your teammate. Like if your, for instance, if you playing DB
Mhm.
and the DB get beat on a post every time, well, if he think it's a post coming and y'all communicate that, and you can be in the spot to help him, so to help the team get a turnover, do that. Like if you got a block for your teammate as a receiver and it's a screen, The only way the offense will be successful is if you block for your teammate. Like, what's the point of you not blocking and you let your teammate get his head knocked off and then it's turnover on downs? The more opportunities you get to have the balls, the more opportunities you get to catch the ball.
Right. So basically what you're saying, teamwork makes the dream work.
It makes the work. It does.
That's universal. That's a universal saying. At Boys and Girls Club or Go Coast, we work as a team, and if we didn't work as a team, we wouldn't be still running. It wouldn't be 50 years of service to the youth and the community. So that's definitely a great point you made right there. Um, like even with school, got to have study groups. When you have study groups, that helps. Like
That's
you know,
right.
and I know you had to you had help with college and other people around you. You had peers that helped you. So I want to ask you this: what college did you go to, and what did you study?
Man, I went to the amazing.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Alabama. Go Jags. I have a degree in exercise science, which is also the study of kinesiology. So I used to I wanted to learn how the body moves and how it operates under pressure, without pressure. So that was really interesting to me. A lot of people don't know this, but I was actually declared as a freshman into physical therapy. And I went into physical therapy, and South Alabama is one of the top medical schools in the country. And when I studied and I went to my advisor, and she was like, "Well, you're gonna have to miss some games on Saturday." I said, "Do what? Miss some games?" She said, "Yeah, we got some clinics on Saturday that you're gonna have to miss when you get in your college." I said, "Oh yeah, let me out this major. I got to go." And she was like, "What do you mean? This is your future." I was like, "Yeah, but if I leave, then my scholarship leave. If I stay, my scholarship gonna get taken away because I play football." She was just like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah, so I'm sorry. I got to go." I had to make a decision. And that's what life is about: making conscious decisions based on what you're trying to do.
Right.
And when you make those decisions, that is when you stick it out, no matter what happened.
Man, that's beautiful, man. So I'm gonna ask you this: since you majored in kinesiology, did you have like certain stretches you knew you had to do like before games and practices that hey, my hamstrings hurting, man. I need to stretch this out. I need to stretch this. I need to stretch because I mean,
Yeah.
when you're a student athlete, that's the first thing we want our kids to understand. You're gonna be a student athlete. So, did you take that? Since that was your major kinesiology, did you like apply it to?
I did. Like, it was I use it as a study tool. Because you go to the trainer, you get taped, and you just be like, "Hold up, wait a minute, watch my hullets right there." That's another term for the big toe. Or I'd be like, "Hey, my popliteal hurt," and that's like behind your knee. I'd be like, "Hey, my IT band it kind of hurt up there by the anterior part of my iliac crest." I would say those words, and my trainers be looking at me like, "Lad, why are you saying that?" I said, "Well, it's just helping me study. I got a test coming up." And so I would use every aspect of that I could to help better myself in the classroom, because this ain't back in the day where you can be a great athlete and they just pass you on.
Right,
I signed a scholarship with 30 people. I
right.
finished 11.
So you finished with what? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
11. I
I got.
finished with people. I signed with 30, but I finished with 11. And people dropped out. They flunked out, lost the scholarship, it because of grades.
Man, you just kind of went into my next question. How important were your grades? And you just kind of answered that, but could you tell us how important your grades were?
It to me it was important because, like, growing up there was no pass, no play. Like, what's the point of you getting rewarded to go play a sport that you love, but you can't do your work in the classroom? And so when you become a freshman in college, you only have to have a 1.9 to be eligible. But why do the bare minimum? If you're gonna be an excellent football player or excellent basketball player, an excellent athlete, why not let that translate to being an excellent student or the best student that you can be?
Okay, cool. So I know growing up a kid, we said about your mom kind of groomed you. I know you lost your dad at an early age. Some of our youth probably don't have a father figure. Uh, how could you like how was your dad? Let's just talk about how was your dad when you was growing up?
He was he was cool. He was stern. He didn't play. Like he do what you're supposed to do, or you gonna get, get a whooping. That was it. He was there. He he was just, they got a divorce, and like he just did what, he was our dad. He was there, but it was certain things that we missed out on because he wasn't in the house, and that's important. And so the things I had to do outside the house, like I really fought to have a relationship with my dad, because we just we just didn't hang out a lot. We actually hung out more towards the end of his life, because he made an effort. But it was just he was cool. I just remember him. You better listen to what I got to say. You better pull your pants up, strap your shoes up. You know how everybody used to have the straps and let them dangle. No, we couldn't do that. You know, and it was just he was just stern. My mom was the one that was more lax, but she had rules and stuff, but she was the one that was like the energetic one. She was the one that was the cheerleader. She was the one that was there. So at the game, my daddy didn't say nothing. He was just sitting there chilling. Like he sat there and watched you, and then you talk about the game when after the game. But my mama, she understand what you doing. Why y'all not scoring? Y'all better block. Oh, you Brian, I want a touchdown. Like just yelling all across the field. So it was a different dynamic. You had the temperature was different for both of them. My mama was the one that was the hot one, and my dad was kind of cold when it came to athletics. But then, things switched depending on the situation. But I just remember him being cool, laid back, and just stern, strict.
Ryan, I'm gonna ask you a quick question and just give me a quick answer. How old were you when your dad passed away?
I was 13.
13. Okay. That's perfect because 13 through 18, we have, kids that lose somebody close in their family. What what would you tell them now that would help them overcome losing a family member? How would you encourage them to still go to school, still play sports, and be a great citizen? How would you encourage them?
One, to let them know that it's okay to grieve. It's okay to grieve properly. Two, understand that if that person was still alive, would you be acting out if you're acting out? And if the answer is no, three, how can you make them proud? It's not about if you get all the accolades, but if you pull your grade up from a C to a B, and that would make them proud. Like you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to make progress. As long as you're making progress to push towards the dream that you told them, or that they did you want to do something for them, be be mindful of that. Every time that I would uh after my dad passed away, it was more of like, okay, how can I not be a statistic? um I didn't want to be a statistic and go to jail, because when I looked it up, it was 75 to 77% of African American males that lose their father or don't have a father in the household between the ages of 13 and 18, they go to jail. And I didn't want to be a statistic. So I did everything I needed to do so I wouldn't become a statistic. And yeah, there's some sacrifices. I couldn't go to every party. I couldn't hang out with everybody, because everybody that you hang out with ain't good for you, you know? And so you have to, like I said, you have to make a conscious decision and make those sacrifices that you need to make in order to get and put you in a position to be successful.
Man, Brian, that was perfect for our kids and our youth, man. That's a really good stuff. So let's get back onto the when you was in college. How important education was.
Man, it was super important for me. You know how sometimes you get people that be like, man, I ain't trying to do this work, man. I'm gonna let my tutor do it. Well, my motto was, when I turn my work in, or when I get my degree, if my tutor did all my work, what, I don't know anything. So I came to college with the same knowledge that I left with. Unacceptable. That is unacceptable. I'm gonna do my work. If I need help, I'm gonna go get help. But I want to do the work. I want to do the work so my brain can grow, so I can see new things, so I can see it from a different perspective. I never wanted somebody else to do my work because then I wouldn't learn anything. Even if I failed, I still learned something. I
Right.
still learned something. I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
At Anatomy 2, AMP 2, one of the hardest classes I ever had, I failed every test. 57, 58, 59, 59. Like F. Like I had F in the class. Like I F on all my tests. The only thing that made me pass the class was because I did all my homework and I showed up and did all the extra credit stuff. Because I understood by the half of the class, man, shoot, I'm gonna have to make an A on the next two, you know. But I did my homework, and even though I learned only about 50% of the material, because that's what I made, about 50, I still learned something in anatomy. Like I still know stuff, and I want to do it by myself. And the only thing that helped me was that I showed up to class and I was there and I was present. And when she met with my coaches, they said, why he not passing? And she was like, I have no idea. He's trying his best. I know that he has a tutor because he came and talked to me and told me. I know that he goes to class because I see him in class. He answers questions and he does all his homework. So she gave me, like, I had enough points in my homework grade to help me bump to a C. Because once you get in your major classes, it's ABC. Ain't no D. If you don't get a C, you done. Like you fail. So it's important to learn how to do the work, because if you don't learn how to do it, when you hit something tough, you're just gonna quit.
Yeah, that's right, man. How did you distinguish yourself as a scholar athlete and not just a kid that plays sports?
And well, in high school, I did my work. Like I did my work, and because I did my work and I wanted to be excellent, not just on the football field, but in the classroom, that pushed me to be honors. I graduated in honors in the top 50 of my class, and then in college, shoot, I sat in the first three rows. I didn't go. I sat in the first three rows and I wore clothes, not gym shorts, not a hoodie, and not no. I wore regular clothes like I was in high school. I didn't wear no slides. I wore tennis shoes. I put on regular clothes, and that helped the teacher distinguish me as, oh, he's serious about his education. Because if they don't think that you're serious, then they're not going to care. If you show them that you care about yourself and your education, then they're going to care. It's all about what, everything stems from you first. Like if you have passion, if you care, it all rubs off on every place, every person that you come in contact with. So I showed them that I was serious, and then they took me serious. And so if I needed some help, or if I needed, to talk to them about something, they were willing to talk about it because I had the records to back it up. I was in class. I sat in the first three rows. I was active in class, and I answered questions. So when you come with a little hiccup that you need help with, they'll be more than happy to help you. And that's how you distinguish yourself as a scholar athlete. Like you really try, and you have a relationship with your professors and your teachers. Don't act like you just bigger than everybody. Keep your head, stay calm, relax. Because one injury, you out, you gone.
So true. That's so true, man. That's some good stuff, man. About some guys, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you want to make sure you letting the professor or the teacher know that I want my degree. I play sports, but I want my degree. I'm just not here just to play sports. So that was
Right.
real good. That's a real good stuff, man. What challenge did you come across in getting to where you are today?
Man, or you already mentioned my dad passing. That was a challenge that helped me push me. Also, man, growing up, I was skinny kid, super skinny. So everybody, assumed that I played basketball, and then, I remember this this conversation, coaches wanted to know if I could play. I remember this one saying that that I was a good player on a very, very bad team and I wasn't even that good that I couldn't go to our rival school to play. You know, our rival was Harrison Central. He said I couldn't even go to Harrison Central and start. Or, you know, I was hurt. You know, I was hurt. You know, that crushed me. Because I had low self-esteem. A lot of people don't know that back in high school, I had a lot of, you know, low self-esteem, and I just didn't think highly of myself. So I had to work through that. And, you know, even my freshman year in college, I still was unsure of me, you know, and when you're unsure of me, then you live on the approval of people. And so when you live on the approval of people, that is, you can be up one day and down the next, and that can destroy you. And even though I was a Christian, I was like, man, people is the one that's gonna help me get to where I am. And I didn't have a full understanding of who God was. I was learning, but it still was a struggle because, you know, you always want to connect to the person that you think gonna have the best plug for you to get where you need to go. Well, I'm telling you right now, the best plug that I got and still hang out with is Jesus Christ. He the best plug. He the best plug. And so because of that, things were able to happen for me. You know, he put things together that I had no idea.
So that's
Hold up.
awesome.
Yeah, I got one more point I want to make. Going into my senior year, I had no scholarship. Like my junior year, I did good, but I had no scholarship. Nobody was like saying, "Hey, I want you." I got a couple of letters about people that saying that was interested, but you know, I remember back then you told me, other people told me that if they ain't writing you handwritten letters, then it doesn't mean anything. So I was waiting on the handwritten letters, like, okay, where they at? Like, who really want me for real? And Howard McNeil, he took me to a day camp at South Alabama. This is another sacrifice. I called him to ask if he could take me, and he was like, "Can your mom take you?" I was like, "Nah, she can't because she had to work and her tires was bad, so we couldn't. We just gonna make that drive." I said, "No, coach." He said, "Okay, I got you." So he was like, "How much is the camp?" I said, "Don't worry about the camp, coach. I got it covered." Well, the camp was $10. Well, that weekend I was supposed to go get a haircut. I was nappy that day because I saved that $10 to sow into myself to pay for the camp. And so I went to the camp and I did well. I did amazing, you know, and they offered me a scholarship that day before I left the camp on the 50-yard line.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's real good stuff. Uh, After you played football, we know you became an author. So, when did you find interesting? When was it interesting to you to start writing?
Well, I after my dad passed away, so that's what helped me cope with everything, was putting my feelings on paper. It wasn't poetry. It wasn't like it wasn't a motive to it. I was just like, man, let me just write how I feel down on paper. It wasn't that I heard it from somebody. I was just like, I can't talk. You know, I just, you know, at the moment, it's not that I couldn't talk to anyone. I really just didn't want to. But I feel like if I get these feelings out on paper, then I will be able to, you know, to release some things that I had. So I had been journaling since I was 13.
So when did you feel comfortable? At what age, if you can remember, what age did you feel comfortable to talk to an adult about your loss when you lost your dad? When did you feel comfortable? At what age?
Well, our mom made us go to this counseling. She made us go to counseling. I think shortly after my dad had passed away, probably like probably after the funeral. You know, we went to counseling, and to be honest with you, I don't know everything that it did, because at the same time I was writing. You know, I was writing my feelings out. But I will say that it, you know, the counseling did help, and you know, we talked to him. But then, you know, I guess as with the counseling paired with my writing my journal and stuff, I was able to just let it, you know, as I talked about it more, it got easier, not to necessarily let him go, but it got easier to heal. And I wasn't like holding on to him like, man, this is messed up, you know, and be mad at the world. I didn't want to be mad at the world, because I knew that God had showed me that in this healing process, this is what's going to help me to make him proud, and also not to become a statistic that I didn't want to become.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot right quick. I've read the book Driven. That's my favorite out of the four.
Okay,
I read Mind of the Pigskin and Driven, but Driven was my favorite one because it was so you were so open about yourself and your life. Um, which one is your favorite book?
Driven.
Driven,
Driven. That's
Driven was
my
that was a good book. Okay, what would you say to young people watching that are interested in writing?
do it. Do it. Let it go. If you even think that you need to write something down because you mad about something, do it. If you want to write a book, do it. Like just like you play sports or just like you do whatever, like you draw, if you feel like you what you have to say is important, put it down on paper, because until you put it down on paper, it's not real. Like until you actively put it down on paper, it's like a sport. It's like when you practice in sports, you man, I'm gonna be the best. I want to be the best receiver. Well, what does that take to be the best receiver? That's going out running routes, learning the drills, learning how to catch the ball. You got to do that stuff actively. So if you want to, write, start writing. It doesn't matter what it is, poetry, journal, or you want to tell a story. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, who's some of your favorite writers or favorite
Oh,
authors?
favorite authors. My goodness. Well, one of my friends, her name is Laquana Broomfield. She's one of my favorite writers. Um, Also, man, I like Tony Evans. I like Tony Evans, and man, the person that wrote my favorite book is called The Circle Maker. Is Mark Batterson. Though that's it's probably one of my favorite people to like read. Um, Man, it's a lot of good ones because I was looking at my my library when you asked me that, and I have a library of like a bunch of people, a bunch of people.
Man, that's cool. So, this is just a question I came up with. Do you ever have writer's block?
Yes, I do. I do.
Could you kind of walk us through that? Like, how does that feel when you have writer's block?
Um, it's like you get down, you're like, oh, I'm gonna write today. You sit down and you like, and nothing comes out. Like nothing. Like comes out, you just sit and just be like, what? I know I need to write something. Lord, please, Jesus, let me write. I'm on the deadline. Help me. And you just sit there. You sit there, look at the screen or look at the pad, and just be like, nothing. There's times I sat down for like an hour, had nothing to say, like could not get it out. And then I go pray, and I would just I'll do it again tomorrow. And came back the next day and wrote 6 pages.
Okay, since you said that, so has it been a time where you had a dream or you woke up in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you just start writing? Has it ever
Yes,
been like that?
yes, but not for me. Not often. It only happened. Um, it happened when I was writing Driven a couple of times, because I just couldn't remember exactly what happened. I couldn't. I knew the gist of what happened, but I was like, God, I want detail, and I couldn't remember the detail. It was fuzzy. I went to sleep, woke up. Oh, I'm finna type this, and I just went to typing.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you when I was at Southern Miss on the coast, I didn't have a car at the time, and Southern Miss on the coast is in Long Beach, and I live in Gulfport.
Yeah,
So nobody was answering the phone, all right? Nobody was answering the phone. It's like 6 o'clock in the evening. I said, you know what? I'm about to run on the beach. So I ran from Long Beach all the way to Gulfport on the on the beach, and like I didn't even recognize where I was. When I stopped, I was in Gulfport, but I got in a mode what they call it a runner's high.
yeah.
You just
Mm-hmm.
don't. You just go. You just don't even know. Have you ever got in a zone where you just writing like you just going and you end up writing for hours? You be like, oh man, I've been writing for 5 hours. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, but I ain't never. It didn't take me. It wasn't 5 hours. It was. I was like I think it was probably like 2 hours, and then I'm like, oh man, I gotta get up and I'm supposed to go meet them, or whoever meeting or whatever. But I think it's been like 2 hours where I just got caught up in writing and writing down the plot and making sure everything was straight. Yeah, man, it happens sometimes, and you be writing. Sometimes when I write and I start laughing, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so fire. Like, just talking to myself, and man, when it happened, like you said, you just go.
You just go. Okay. So what was the happiest moment in your life, man?
The happiest moment in my life was probably, man, like I said, I got a couple. Was when I graduated from college, and and after I played my first professional game, after I played, that was probably like the happiest moments. As far as athletically and academia goes, man, it's a lot of good times. It's just a lot of good times with sports, and in school, it's a lot of good times.
What gives you hope to keep pushing?
Man, I was in high school. Like I said, I battled with I battled with low self-esteem, and I remember, man, I kept thinking about suicide. When I was 16, and I was talking to my pastor's wife one day, and she was taking me home, and I was just like, man, don't nobody care if I'm gonna be here or not. It don't matter. And she stopped the car and she punched me in my arm, and she said, "Don't say that. Don't talk like that." And I'm just like, "But I'm serious. Like, I'm being for real. Like, because at this point, it's just we dealing with so much. My dad's passed away for about 3 years, and it's just a lot of stuff going on, in our family, financially, just a lot of stuff going on, like trying to help my mom cope with everything, and it's just a lot." And so I was like, don't nobody care if I be gone. I was like, poof, pow, I just want to be gone, thinking that would solve all the problems. And she looked at me and she said, "Do you know that there's a group of people that God has assigned to you that you're going to meet and reach, that will only come into the kingdom by your voice?" And I was like, "What? Whatever. Like, nah, like, no." And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Nuh-uh." And she said, "Bryant, if you don't speak, they're going to die and the blood is going to be on your hands." And I don't know, for whatever the reason, it just hit me. And so when that happened, she said, I just looked at her, and I wiped my tears, and she said, "You can't die. Your assignment's not finished." And so I thought to myself, God, you think that much of me to give me assigned people to reach, to be able to know who you are, to speak life into them. So that's what gives me my push.
Awesome, man. That is awesome. So what are your future goals?
Future goals, man. I'm actually thinking about buying another house. I mean, not another house. Excuse me. Sorry, my bad. I think
Thinking it exists.
my bad. My bad. But I'm thinking about I've been thinking about another book that I'm trying to write. I got one, but I don't know. I just been praying on it. Also, Audible book is coming out. Driven is going to be the Audible book, the first one, so you can ride and listen. So it should be coming out. Should be getting an update about it on pretty soon. But that's one of my goals. And then doing, finding my way back as an Audible book. And man, also I got some speaking engagements coming up. Plan to have some more speaking engagements. And man, just moving in that arena, man, and really giving it everything I got.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So now we're gonna transition to a fun game. It's gonna be a game rapid fire. All right. I'm going to give you some questions, and you'll get the option to give me your first answer when I ask you. All right.
All right.
What is your hidden talent?
I can dance really good, like pop.
Okay, so what's your best go-to move? Your dance. What's your best dance you can do?
It's called I don't know what it's called, but it's like this thing where you go like this and you
Oh,
I used to do that. I used to do that all the time.
oh,
That or
okay,
yeah.
okay. All right, what is one thing you do not like about yourself?
Man, actually, I love who I am now. Back then, like you said, I dealt with low self-esteem and unsure, feeling not worthy back then. But I mean, I fought to get to where I am now. I love who I am now. Not content, still growing, but I love who I am now.
Okay. Grits or oatmeal?
Grits.
Relax on the beach or hike up a mountain?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the mountain.
Dude, dude, we got a beach out there.
I know I like the beach. I like
Mountain.
the I like the beach. I like it, but I've known the beach my whole life. Let me see the mountains.
So you want a challenge? I got you. I'm with you on that. Then I'm with you.
Yeah.
iPhone or Android?
Team Apple, baby.
Facebook or
I
Instagram?
actually I like both of them. I use both of them a lot.
Okay. Okay. So that's a tie. What is one thing you want to learn to do?
Surf.
Yeah. You had to go to Cali for that, man. We don't
Or
have
Hawaii.
unless you was out there with a tropical storm, you could have went out there, man. Why you didn't go out there?
No, I ain't. No, no, you trying to set me up.
No, I ain't gonna do you. I want to hear this one now. This is a good question. This is brought to you by Morgan. Morgan came up with these questions, man.
Okay.
Who is your favorite Disney character? This one I gotta hear this one.
Goofy.
Goofy? Okay. He had a top 10 movie.
And
Yeah.
look, I got a Disney Plus account, and Goofy is my
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, me
Goofy.
and my brother watched that. Me and Ari watched that probably 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah, the Goofy movie. Come on,
Yeah, yeah. Classic. Classic. Who is the funniest person you know?
man. I was the only person I could think of, like, know personally, like, or knew was Corey Bastida. He was on one of my teammates,
Okay.
one of the athletic guys on the team, like one of the most. I'm talking about. I seen this dude fall, slip, and still run a 4.3.
Goodness gracious.
But he was hilarious, man. I'm talking about. He was hilarious. I'm talking about this dude. Everything he did was just funny. Like even when he was serious, he was funny. Like that dude, man. We had a whole bunch of laughs in the room. That dude was funny.
All right. You want sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Okay. Do you use emojis when you text?
Yes, I do.
What kind of emoji? What's your favorite emoji you use?
It's the laughing one. Like I can't got with the tears. The laughing one with tears. I can't do the tears.
Yeah, there you go. Show it. There you go. And I appreciate you, man. We're glad to have you, Bryant, man. To inspire our youth during these tough times right now, man. So I just want to give you thanks, and we're hoping this information has helped keep you encouraged to do great things. This is a difficult time for our country, but you are not alone. We are pushing through this time together. Be sure to follow Boys and Girls Club of Gulf Coast on Facebook. Next Thursday at 1 p.m. for Elements of a Scholar Athlete, we'll be with the MLB first round pick. He got picked by Pittsburgh Pirates, Travis Swaggerty. Is that what his name? All right. See you guys later.
All right.